Hey guys, Jen here from Jen Michelle Coaching, and today I want to talk about why you may be attracted to the wrong people. For those of you new to my channel, I would love to invite you to subscribe. I release a new video each week. So let's get started, because this is a topic I deal with a lot from women. This idea that they want love from a high quality man who really cherishes, adores, and sees them in a way that is deeply meaningful, deeply connecting, and passionate. Yet when a good man shows up who's ready to love them unconditionally with a level of willingness and openness that's not familiar to them, they immediately go into, there must be something wrong with this guy. What's wrong with him? Is he desperate? Is he needy? Why is he, so open to me? We don't love ourselves enough to believe that we are deserving of that without having to climb the relationship mountain. We feel like we need to prove, earn, show, do all of these things, and then we'll be worthy of love. So then we fall into the pattern of being drawn to more elusive, less emotionally unavailable men, which then starts the cycle of earning, proving, and trying to grasp and show, and then having it further validate that deeper core wound within us that we're not worthy or good enough. And instead, how do we break this cycle and invite love in from a man who is high quality and really ready to love and see us and know us in that unconditional way? Number one, you may have low confidence and think that's what you deserve. We touched on this just now in my introduction, but we want to just break this down a little bit further. If we have low confidence and we have a narrative that we have been rolling around in our head for many years, then this is going to be what's dominant and what we are taking action from, because of course we have the thought, which creates the feeling, which then creates the action. And so if we are operating under the assumption that we're not good enough for love, or there's something uniquely deficient within us that other people don't have to worry about, consider that this is what we're creating from. And so learning how to grow in self-love is a process, and I'm a huge believer that a woman does not have to wait to arrive before she can attract the love that she wants. But there is that openness and willingness to show a man who you are as a beautiful work in progress, who is learning and growing and evolving each day in terms of your ability to love yourself, to show up for yourself, and accept yourself. Because as you begin to embrace these qualities and let him see you in this way, you will inspire more and more of that to be reflected back to you. So if you notice that you're the type of person that gets caught in the patterns of needing to prove and earn or show something before you're deserving, I invite you to start looking at that narrative and exploring where it may come from, always meeting it with curiosity. And whose voice is that? And instead, how can you kind of lean into something that isn't familiar, that wasn't something that you experienced growing up, but you know deep down is good for you? How can you start to increase your comfort level with that by opening up to it and not running away from it, and meeting it with a different level of inquiry and curiosity than you were willing to before? This is a really powerful way to start to shift what you believe is possible for yourself, because you are opening up the door to exploring it versus immediately shutting it down. Number two, we talked about this a little bit in number one, where we're talking about the concept of the ego running the show, where the ego is saying, oh, if you don't do this, this, and this, or you got to show him this, and then you're going to get love. Then if he approves of you, then you're worthy. And instead, we want to make sure that that's always coming from within. And even if that is a foreign experience for us based off everything that we experienced growing up, it's about choosing to meet ourselves there right now and recognizing that little girl inside of you that is craving acceptance, is craving unconditional love, is craving full self-expression, and meeting her with those very qualities that you're seeking outside of yourself. And as you become better and better at recognizing what's yours to fill, what things you need to do to self-regulate, whether that's spending time with friends, getting out in nature, getting near animals, expanding your world, and finding hobbies and activities that you really enjoy. As you start to not run away from your emotions and fill up your life in a really meaningful way, you will become healthier and healthier at balancing your ego and allowing yourself to let more in and to receive love in a way that was not familiar to you. And you start to change what's possible on a very transformative level, little by little by little, step by step by step. And so I invite you to challenge any narratives that aren't in support of where you're trying to go, and really bring a deeper recognition of where they came from and if they're serving you anymore. And if not, really develop practices so you can meet this need within, which will then, of course, transform what you're able to attract and receive on the outside world. Number 3, I always share with women, we can attract men that make relationships easy or relationships hard. So if we have anxiety or if we have our own insecure attachment issues, we can attract a man that makes that easier, or we can attract a man that makes that harder. Nothing will expose our cracks the way an intimate relationship will. And so when we do experience those really deep and painful emotions, it's showing us the unconscious parts within ourselves that require the most love and attention from ourselves. And we can attract men that really amplify that, or we can attract men who are secure and who are willing to be open to us in a way we haven't experienced, which then, of course, exacerbate our healing process. When we can feel security from our partner, it starts to stimulate our ability to connect to the innate security that we hold within. If you guys hear this background noise, there's a lot of peacocks out today, so I apologize for the noises in the background, but I just wanted to let you know what it was. So in regards to really making, more setting yourself up for success, we want to be mindful if we're attracting an avoidant. Anxious and avoidant are two very common patterns. So obviously that makes it harder. Can those relationships heal? Absolutely. But then sometimes too, we want to have that awareness that when we're dating, if we are drawn to what's familiar to us and we're actively trying to change it, I think it's really helpful to have the understanding that some people are going to make our healing and our ability to have a healthy relationship easier than others based on their level of consciousness, their level of willingness, and the level of security they hold within. And so I feel like that's very good information for us to be aware of when choosing potential partners or when healing a relationship that has had its challenges along the way. If you find this video helpful, I would love for you to check out my site, jenmichellecoaching.com. I have lots of digital programs and resources on my site as well as my blog. I would love to hear from you in the comments below. Have a beautiful week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.